It's Breaking the News with Des Clark.
Des Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. With me are four brilliant panellists. On my right, we have Ray Bradshaw and Amy Matthews, and facing them are Marjolaine Robertson and Jamie McDonald. In the news this week, shotgun cartridges have been found amongst household batteries in a box at an Aberdeenshire recycling centre. In other news, an Aberdeenshire man has ended up in hospital after accidentally shooting himself with a remote control. First Minister John Swinney says a £26 million upgrade to a major tree nursery in Murray will help Scotland meet its targets for planting forests, to which Kate Forbes said, "Oh, aye, the trees get a nursery, do they? Aye." And radioactive water from a Royal Navy nuclear weapons base has leaked into a loch. It was a small amount of radiation and the public have nothing to worry about, said a local frog. Right, you've met the teams. Let's crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Amy and Ray, can you tell me what this is all about?
Former First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has told the BBC
that Ukraine's President Zelensky should be
enjoying time in London and being able to be a bit more selfish.
She warned that Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin
may have to live outside Scotland for a while.
Well, Ray, I'll come to you first. What do you think our first story might be?
Nicola Sturgeon's new memoir has been released just now.
It is indeed the long-anticipated memoir from the former First Minister Nicola Sturgeon being released this week. In the book titled Frankly, she writes candidly about the highs and lows of her time in office. Some revelations have included insights into the heated relationship between her and Alex Salmond, the addressing of lurid accusations about her sexuality, and a bizarre story about how Sean Connery gave her advice about speaking in public. Amy, what about you? Will you be reading Nicola Sturgeon's book?
This is her first foray into literature. She really wants to do something with fiction after she's done this memoir. She said this, she wants to go into something fiction. I just hope it's a poetry collection, because I've got a little idea of what it might be like. Something like maybe, my independence campaign has been thorough, yet the English persist with soft power. So in lieu of a bin, we've put them all in the tenements of Edinburgh. I've been the victim of some anti-Scot stunts and quite often had to bear the brunt. Now the fringe has descended and my reign has ended. See how you like dealing with these London people. Something like that.
Jamie, what about you? Will you be checking out Nicola Sturgeon's book?
No, absolutely not, and it's because I don't like the title. I don't like Frankly, because I think she's missed a trick. Because I think her premiership was kind of peppered with like social engineering and spectacular howlers. And I've got a better title: Away with the Ferries.
Marjolaine, what about you? Will you be reading Nicola Sturgeon's book?
I could say yes, but we all know it's going to be a lie. Because I just wait for the film versions of things to come out, you know? Like with Trainspotting, wait for the film Trainspotting. With Lord of the Rings, wait for the film Lord of the Rings. With Mary Poppins, wait for the film version, Mrs. Doubtfire. And I'm excited for this film version of her book, and I believe it'll be called Frankly Goes to Holyrood.
My favourite bit is she said she got a midlife crisis, so she got a tattoo at the age of 55. And I was like, Nicola, you're from Ayrshire. 55 is not midlife. Like that is... Well, so I didn't realise you're going to live to 110. My bad.
We're looking for those big secrets. So we've had some revealed in Nicola Sturgeon's book, but what's the biggest secret you would reveal in your memoir, Amy?
Well, I don't have any secrets, not at all. And if after I pass away you find a shed full of graffiti spray paints and some stencils with rats holding grenades and lots of tickets to Bristol, that's just my hobby.
I knew it was you all along. Jamie, what about you? We're talking about secrets and revelations. What's the biggest secret you would reveal in your memoir?
Well, I'm not proud of the 6 points I've got on my driving licence.
We do have to reintroduce Scotland's premier blind comedian, Jamie. Marjolaine, what about you? What's the biggest secret you would reveal in your memoir?
Oh, if the police couldn't get it out of me with their questions, you won't get out of me with yours. It's not about how many bodies, just where I hid them.
Nicola Sturgeon's memoir is now on sale in most independent bookshops and also other bookshops that she hopes will become independent within the next 20 years. Right, Jamie and Marjolaine, it's your turn now. What was the other story we were after?
The special meeting between President Trump and Putin in Alaska.
That is brilliant. Well done. That's the right answer. Yes, it was announced earlier in the week that Presidents Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin would meet in Alaska to discuss how to end the war in Ukraine. On Wednesday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with European leaders to put pressure on Donald Trump. He also met with Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer in London. The meeting in Alaska between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin has been described as a tete-a-tete, which is, of course, French for a pair of diddies. Brilliant answer. Well done on getting it. So, do you think this meeting will make a difference?
This meeting between Trump and Putin has been described as a listening exercise. And I know a lot of people are cynical about Trump, but I actually think that this meeting has the ability to do such an incredible change over the face of the world through these two leaders. I do, because if they can teach Trump to listen, if he sits down for once and listens to someone else, I mean, hopefully it shouldn't be Putin, but
Jamie, what do you think? The big meeting, the summit between Trump and Putin, will this meeting make a difference?
Well, I don't know if it's going to make a difference, right? But if I was organising the globe's biggest ever willy swinging contest, I would not have it in Alaska. Are you feeling the cold this morning, Donald?
It's been declared a listening exercise. I think that's how it was phrased. But I mean, it's a pair of pathological liars saying problematic things for an hour whilst they do very little to ignore the sexual tension between them. That's not a listening exercise, that's a date.
Ray, this is big news, obviously. So we've got Putin, we've got Trump meeting in Alaska. Will this meeting make a difference?
Probably not. I like the idea of them just sitting in a briefing room with Trump and he's like, where's the meeting? And they say Alaska and he says, you'll ask who? Like, that is 100% happened already.
It's a big one. Many say it could be an awkward encounter. But what is the most awkward meeting that you have ever had? So, Marjolaine, I'm going to ask you this. What's the most awkward meeting you've ever had?
This one. It would have been less awkward if Des had called me back. But this is the first time I see you again, Des. The twins have been asking.
Amy, what about you? So this could be a potentially very awkward meeting, but for you, what's the most awkward meeting that you have ever had?
So what happens is every now and then I get an email from my agent saying a part has come up for you that we think you'd be perfect for, and you get called in. You say, how exciting, this is looking lovely. She sat me down and she said, okay, so the part doesn't have a name, it's just got a description, and the description is glamorous Nazi. So I don't know how to take that.
Did you get it?
No, which I actually take as a huge compliment.
Or maybe they just thought you're unglamorous.
Yeah,
Oh, Ray, this is lovely. Well, look, what is the most awkward meeting that you have ever had?
2016, I was doing a show in sign language. I went down to do a BBC interview, and there was a guy in the waiting room before me, quite a tall guy, and he was like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Glasgow." He's like, "Oh, I love Glasgow." Kind of rough London guy. He's like, "Oh, I've had a few fights up there." And I was like, "Mate, we're not all like that up there. That's such a bad stereotype." We go into the studio and I get introduced to Joe Joyce, the 2014 gold boxing medalist in the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow.
Yes, well done, Jamie and Marilyn. And at the end of that round, the teams are all square. Now, much of our news is about public opinion, so to find out what stories people are talking about, we spoke to two friends of the show, writer and broadcaster Nicola Meehan and comedian Paul Foot. So, Jamie and Marilyn, what do you think Paul is on about here?
Who wants to have a long, relaxed evening when you can just quickly grab something about 6 o'clock, wolf it down, and the whole evening's over by about 8 o'clock? What the heck is wrong with young people?
Is this that in the UK, dining habits are changing?
Yes, this is the news that data from an online restaurant booking service suggests more people are eating dinner out earlier. Apparently, it's the same across the country, with restaurants adapting to meet demand from customers who want to eat as early as 5 or 6 p.m. Many restaurants are now openly encouraging early dining by offering pre-theatre menus, or as they call it in Paisley, pre-bingo.
It's not just like dining habits that are changing. Like since the pandemic, like crap things are now made to sound good. Like you get guys saying like, "Why would I want to go to a restaurant when I can sit in my trackies and get a McDonald's to the door?" It's like, because that sounds shite.
Marilyn, what about you? What do you think about this? Why do you think dining habits are changing?
I don't think they're changing because I think dinner at 6 is very normal for first dinner. The day goes, little snacky snack, breakfast. Then we have at 10 o'clocks, then you have 11 o'clocks. Then you have dinner, which is also known as lunch, but you might have dinner after lunch because people get confused, so you have to have both. Then you have 3 o'clocks, then you have 5 o'clocks, then you have 6 o'clock, early dinner, then 7 o'clock, late dinner, then you have 10 o'clock, supper, 12 o'clocks, a little midnight feast.
Jamie, what would you do to improve the dining experience?
I'd ban fondue. I've never
Why?
had so many different blisters in so many different parts of my body in one meal.
I'd like to see a nationwide ban on, you know those very tall metal stools that are often lined up on an MDF bench to let everybody know that you're about to be charged £15 for a burger. Those, I think we should get rid of those. The only time I ever want to see 4 of those lined up in a row is if Westlife are about to do a ballad on the X Factor. I don't want to see them outside that context.
If there's not a key change, we're not interested.
Absolutely.
We're with you in that, Amy. Ray, what about you? What would you do to improve the dining experience?
If it's served in a slate, 50% off. Or if they ask me how my food is and I'm chewing while they're asking me, 75% off. It's just so awkward, isn't it?
I agree on both points, mate.
Yeah.
You don't want your dinner on a roof tile. Yes, according to new research, some diners eat early to make the last train, which in certain parts of Scotland was in 1987. Yes, changing dining out habits is the right answer. Jamie and Marilyn, well done. You get 2 points for that. Right, Ray and Amy, it's your turn now. What do you think Nicola is talking about here?
I think that my dad used to live in a flat in Dunblane where bits of the 39 Steps were filmed. And I doubt that I'm the only one who's visited the local Hero phone box in Pennon. They filmed bits of it in a quarry up the backwoods where I live. And I am only thankful that they didn't travel back in time to the 1990s when we used it as a teenage den of iniquity.
So I think this is the fact that the series The Outlander is actually boosting Scottish tourism.
Yeah, bang on. Great answer. Yes, this is the story that a recent survey from Visit Scotland has shown that around 30% of international visitors are inspired to come to Scotland after having seen the nation on film and TV. Along with countless movies being filmed here, the TV show Outlander is said to be one of the key drivers for visitors. Visit Scotland say the popularity of Outlander is because, quote, it's got romance, it's got battles, it's got culture, which coincidentally is also the slogan for the Savoy nightclub. Still great on a Sunday night, there you are.
One thing I'm slightly concerned about, I've lived in Scotland for 8 years now, and as somebody who has dated a few Scottish men, there's a slight gulf between the Outlander man and the sort of the man that is on the street. From I mean, God bless you all. I'd never met a man who thought that crisps were a food group before, or who thought that going to the doctors was gay. So I think.
That's a brilliant answer, and you're right. Maybe adjust expectations, especially tourists coming to the country. Ray, what about you? Amazing survey, this. Is it good for Scottish tourism?
I think, my brother lives in America, so I spend a lot of time over there. So I think it's a rise of Outlander, but also like genealogy tests and 23andMe, and people believe they're Scottish. Like, I was in Chicago last month, and there's an American woman quiet, which meant she was eavesdropping, and she was listening to us talking, and she turned around and she's like, "Are you Scottish?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "I myself am from Tampa, Florida, but my family are actually Scottish. We moved here in the 1700s. And I was like, I just looked at the eyes. I was like, "You're not Scottish. Like, you're not." I've never felt more like Nigel Farage in my life. And I loved it.
I've seen a huge rise of it just in Shetland alone, because we've got the BBC Shetland TV show, and then everyone starts coming to Shetland because they like the TV show. And then they speak to the Shetlanders and they're like, "You don't sound right." Because all the accents in that are like lowland Scotland Central Belt accents, and I actually got asked to audition for Shetland, and I auditioned, and they said that my voice wasn't quite right. The part went to a Glaswegian pal of mine, so I happy for her, and I got the part of lady who discovers body on beach, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'd hope we don't film this on the beach where I've actually hidden the bodies."
I'd like to see like Scottish versions of films coming over here. Like, imagine Gladiator was set in Scotland, but Maximus Decimus Meridius has just actually moved to Linwood and opened a chippy, like giving up the fighting. It's called Maxie's. It'll do good business.
I'd like to see a version of Gladiator when instead of Russell Crowe walking with his fingers through the wheat fields, it's just him dipping them into the boiling fat.
That would echo in eternity.
That's Jamie having a fondue.
Yes, the Outlander effect on Scottish tourism is the right answer. 2 points goes to Ray and Amy. This is Breaking the News from BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who's in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. Ray and Amy, you're first this time. Who is this?
Also, ideally, try and stop them leaving. Don't just stand there and watch, which a lot of people do, which frustrates me. You're the idiot standing there with a mobile phone. You're not doing anything either, are you?
This is the guy, Matthew Barber, who has been complaining about people not stopping shoplifting recently.
That's a great spot. Well done. That's the right answer, Ray. Yes, this is the Police and Crime Commissioner for Thames Valley, Matthew Barber. He's made headlines for saying that the public has a duty to stand up to shoplifters rather than relying solely on the police. He told the press this week the idea that this is just a job for the police and that citizens have no responsibility. I think this makes for a poor society. Yes, Mr. Barber says that if we see someone suspected of criminal behaviour, we should straighten our backs, look them square in the eye and firmly say, "Are you that Michelle Mone?" Amy, what about what we've heard this week? What do you think of Mr. Barber's comments?
Yeah, I mean, it's this symptom we're seeing more and more of, where when governments are inept or they make a bad decision and there's a negative impact on us, they shift the blame onto the individual as opposed to take accountability so that we all get cross with each other instead of them. And you'll notice there that there's actually not a joke, right? Even though it's my job to be funny in this scenario. But I actually think if you all took it upon yourselves just to laugh a bit more and make sure that the person sitting next to you is laughing, then I can't really be blamed for not be doing like the bare minimum of my job.
Yeah. What do you think of Mr. Barber's comments, Jamie?
I mean, as if I'm going to go up to a kind of chibbed up bam, put my hand on his shoulder, go, all right, scumbag, you've not paid for that, hubba bubba. I get slashed.
Obviously, we're talking about Mr. Barber saying that we should get involved in real life situations. When have you taken the law into your own hands?
I'm not going to listen to Matthew Barber. I've not listened to Barber in about 15 years. Like, I'm not...
Mariolane, what about you? We've got Matthew Barber saying that we should get involved if there's any criminal activity going on, but when have you taken the law into your own hands?
Like, it's been a long month in Edinburgh. I've had to let off steam, and there's a lot of people around, and they're all annoying me, so I've actually started, and you might be like, haha, that's a funny joke. No, I've actually started standing beside the Greyfriars Bobby statue. I'm like, don't touch its nose. Because they're eroding the statue. It's a piece of our history. Makes it, and I'm so mad. I'm like, hey. No consent, no touching the Bobby.
Jamie, when have you taken the law into your own hands?
When I read an Act of Parliament in Braille.
We almost had to wait for VAR on that joke. Right, Jamie and Mariolane, it's your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
It's a lot easier to deal with this whole chaotic thing where people are allowed to say whatever they want about you and call a newspaper and that it's a national news story. It's a lot easier to handle that with a sense of humor.
That is Taylor Swift.
Well done, Mariolane. Yes, Taylor Swift has announced her 12th studio album after an intense 24 hours of speculation from fans. The pop superstar used an interview on her boyfriend Travis Kelce's podcast to announce that her 12th album, The Life of a Showgirl, will be released on the 3rd of October. 2 of Taylor Swift's songs are Shake It Off and You Need to Calm Down, about the 2 different approaches you can take when a wasp lands on you.
Like, good on her, but she's 35 and she's done 12 albums. It's actually double that figure if you look at re-records and EPs. So there's like 24 things she's released. And she has to stop. She's gonna burn out. And I'm talking from experience. Like doing the Fringe every year and trying to write a new hour every year. And you have to burn out. And then how does she gonna publicize this? How? By going on with the biggest podcast, her boyfriend's podcast, and saying, I'm doing an album. And like, at least she's finding inventive new ways to promote her new album. It's like me coming onto a radio show and being like, you should see my Fringe show. My Fringe show is on right now. Thinking of inventive ways to promote that. I'm doing another show and I'm not burning out at all. And we're all having a lovely time. Aren't we, Glasgow?
Can I go to Ray and Amy's day?
Jamie, are you excited for Taylor's new album?
I'm a 45-year-old man. I think there'd be widespread concern if I was.
So not something really on your radar?
It's not really on my radar. I like some of her stuff. My wife hates that. Oh. Irrationally. Don't know why.
You always hate your partner's exes, don't you? So...
Yeah, we're never getting back together.
Oh, Jamie. Oh, I'm no fan. I'm no interested. Dropping the song titles. I love it.
I'm blind, I'm not deaf.
Yeah. Are you excited for Taylor's new album, Amy?
No, I think the only thing we know about it is that apparently she has a sort of colour scheme or aesthetic with each album. Apparently this year it's going to be orange, so that halves sales in Glasgow, doesn't it? Which is a shame.
So Taylor Swift appeared on her boyfriend Travis Kelce's podcast to make the big announcement of her new album. It's seen as a huge collaboration. Of course it is. But Jamie, tell us about your most successful collaboration.
It was a very short one. It was a wee while ago in Sheffield. I was trying to cross a busy road, no green man, and I was just kind of psyching up for it. When this lady, nice lady, came and says, "Oh, come on, Doc," right? Grabbed my arm, and we walked across the road. And we got to the other side, and she went, "Oh, thanks for that, son. I can't see anything with my glasses."
Oh!
Oh, God.
Yes, the showgirl herself, Taylor Swift, is the right answer. 2 points go to Jamie and Marjolaine. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
We get asked these questions every day.
Oh, that is Line of Duty star Adrian Dunbar, not quite getting the gist of Celebrity Mastermind. Right, let's go for it, teams. Fingers on buzzers. Here's the first question for you. 85% of brides are unhappy with what? Amy?
The fact they had to announce their wedding on their boyfriend's podcast.
Lovely answers all round, but something else. 85% of brides are unhappy with what, Ray?
Is it where the minister's eyes keep going?
No. 85% of brides are unhappy with what? Marjolaine?
The fact the minister said God is here, but they can't find a present from him. And he didn't RSVP.
These are genius and brilliant. I'll give you another go if anybody wants to jump in on this. 85% of brides are unhappy with what? Jamie?
Everything.
The answer is this. 85% of brides are unhappy with the price of their wedding dresses.
We get asked these questions every day.
Oh, there we go. That's the klaxon. Adrian has Dunbar, meaning it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Ray Bradshaw and Amy Matthews. And commiserations to Jamie McDonald and Marjolaine Robertson. And we'll leave you with the breaking the news. Breaking news just in. An EasyJet pilot has been suspended after being seen in Cape Verde stumbling drunk and naked through a luxury hotel. The drunkenness and nudity wasn't the problem. It's that he also kept shouting, "Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday." Aberdeen City Council plans to keep school children warm with leftover heat generated by local cremations. One head teacher said they didn't think their pupils would be too spooked, but added that it would be best if they didn't find out what was being used to grit the playground. And President Donald Trump has nominated Some Mothers Do Have Him star Michael Crawford for the prestigious Kennedy Center Awards. Surprisingly, Trump identifies with Frank Spencer, as after the Epstein inquiries, he too has described himself as being in a little bit of trouble. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye.